Well then, hello. How are
Hello.
you? How are you guys? Um, no, it's been a while since we've been on your screens and in your homes and your offices, wherever you wherever you watch our episodes. I'm not judging. Um, we just want to say first and foremost, thank you so much to everybody that is still supporting. I know this last couple of months things have kind of gotten a little crazy. Would you say?
I feel like that's normal for summer, though.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's more of a situation where, like, yeah, like you said, summer starts to ramp up. I
Hmm.
mean, you have your business ramping up, which is super exciting.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to tell them what you do.
Lashing.
Yeah, I know they probably remember, but like, what's your handle? How can they find you?
Eyes by Brie on Instagram. Yeah, it's been crazy. Things are starting to slow down now, so I can finally breathe. But
Mhm.
yeah, it was good.
Okay, all good. Yeah. And so once again, Eyes by Brie on Instagram. If you want like a classic, a volume,
No
mega volume.
classics,
Sorry,
please.
no classics, no classics. We don't allow that. But mega volume, fill, mini fill. Did I miss anything?
No, you got it. Someone cooked you.
You did. As you can see, I'm auditioning for the role of secretary for Eyes by Brie. So yeah, once again, like we said, just a lot of moving parts. Got a couple of trips coming up, which is probably
Mm.
exciting.
Where are
Um,
we going?
I don't know, where are we going? Why don't you tell
I asked you.
them?
We're going to Toronto
So we're
first.
going to Toronto first in July. Well, I guess in 2 weeks because it is July right now. Then we head to hopefully Miami at the end
Oh,
of
why are you going to Miami?
August. So as a birthday present, Bree surprised me with a trip to Miami. I have some family down there. We're gonna go to Key West, do some sightseeing. If you're ever looking for a vacation destination, I would definitely suggest Key West for sure. I've never been, but Bree did.
So how can you suggest it if you've never been there?
Based on the stuff that I've seen online. I mean,
Okay.
how else do people pick vacation destinations, right? Like you have to go somewhere for the first time
Yeah, okay,
sometime,
okay.
right?
I'll give you that one.
So I would say if you're looking for a place, I mean, I don't know how expensive it is because I didn't get the tickets. So, reach out to Bree if you really want that information. And then in November, we're going to Mexico because a good dear friend of mine is getting married. A friend of ours, I should say. They're getting married, and that's going to be, 3 trips
It's going to be a lot. It's back to back.
back to back to back. No Drake. No Drake. They not like us. Anyways, what's new on the podcast? I mean, last episode we had Kyle, we had a special guest. We're trying to keep that traction going with guests. Hopefully, we may have some more guests this summer as we start to launch these episodes more frequently. Our main goal is to kind of, respect your time and try to keep the episodes a little bit more, manageable on time,
Condensed.
condensed. Obviously, because I could say like I could talk forever,
Mm.
but that will allow us to kind of get more content out to you guys more frequently. I think, thinking about starting a podcast and all of that stuff, we kind of maybe underestimated how much time it takes for, turnaround. So we obviously want to get you guys the best content um, that we can produce for you, quality content, editing, all of that stuff. So that's kind of why we took a bit of a break there. But we're back and hoping to be more consistent than ever. I don't know if you have anything to add on that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that just doing shorter clips could be easier with me lashing. You obviously are doing your schooling,
Yep.
right? Which is taking
Yep.
up a lot of your time too. So
Yep.
just finding time to do things that we enjoy and
And a
continue.
balance. Yeah,
Yeah.
just finding a balance. Speaking of, quality, so this podcast is sponsored by the 5K Enterprise, who just recently released some new merch. You might not be able to
You
see
have
it
to
on
stand
me,
up.
but I have their shorts on.
Do a flip. Do a flip.
I can't. So if you head to 5kenterprise.com, they also have a new drop coming out September 1st, a new line of tracksuits. So obviously, by the time that comes out, the weather will be according to that kind of merch stuff. So if you're looking for tracksuits, looking for stuff for the summer, some wash tees, things to kind of lounge in, again, 5kenterprise.com. If you use the code UNSEEN, all lowercase, you will get, is Unseen or Unseen Threads? Unseen Threads, sorry. Unseen Threads, all lowercase. You will actually get 10% off your order. And if I'm not mistaken, all orders do qualify for free shipping. So no matter where you are, they
It's
will
worldwide
get,
too, right?
it's worldwide, yeah. And they will get that item to you and in a reasonable time manner, just because I know they're working very hard on that front. So once again, 5kenterprise.com. We'll keep the link in the description below. So, speaking of trips, I guess what do you look for when you're going on vacation? Like I know you earlier you were talking about, you know, well, how do you know? Because you never went. What do you look for?
A beach and warm weather. I
Okay.
don't like to do excursions. I don't like to do like I just want to go and relax. I don't want to have like a full itinerary of things planned out just to go and like literally have nothing to do. Just lay out and tan.
Lay out and and speaking of warm weather, I mean that's definitely good criteria because I feel like a lot of people like I mean I guess it would depend on what you're going on the vacation for,
That's
right?
how I want all my vacations to be though.
Yeah, so but I mean I guess why I'm asking is like say like for example in November we're going for a wedding, so there's going to be like events like happening during that time.
Hmm.
So where do you draw the line of like my vacation time is like 7 days of solitude of not doing anything versus going on whatever excursion or and how do you draw that
Okay, I
line?
don't want to say, let me backtrack and do like excursions, like going on like jet skis and like snorkeling. We're gonna go like see dolphins when we're in Key West, right? I think that stuff is fun. It's just like sightseeing and like, I don't know, just old, boring, old people stuff is what I don't enjoy. So when it comes to like you're saying, like the 7 days of like solitude and then going and doing whatever, I think that finding a balance and just not having to like wake up at a set time every day, getting to sleep in, relax, and like still do things throughout the day. Like when we were in Mexico, I think that was a good balance, right? We would go to the beach, or we would go here, we would go there, but there was still like downtime to it too.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, I guess why I'm really curious is just, obviously I feel like there's two kind of people that go on vacation. They're like the ones that like, as soon as they land, they're like balls to the wall, right? And they're like trying to do like everything and pack it in. And then there's other people that are just like, yo, I'm just glad to be like
That's me.
away from my house, right?
That's me.
Because and why I'm asking is because obviously when we brought up the trips that were going on this year and the trips that we went on last year, I feel like the trips that we went on last year were pretty much even keeled. We went to a wedding.
Yeah.
We went
To
for two
another wedding.
weddings, right? Um, and then we went to I think Vancouver for just a weekend.
Yeah.
So
Seattle.
and Seattle, so we did a bunch during that time. But I mean, in this year coming up, the trips that we have planned right now is like, going home to see my parents, then going to Key West, which is, I mean, ultimately doing some excursions on a couple of those days, but then there's going to be, maybe half that trip where it's just being away from Edmonton,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's always interesting to me to see like people's take on that.
So what do you prefer when you're on a vacation?
I'm kind of indifferent. I think for me, like for example, November is my first time going to be in like an all inclusive.
Mm.
So I've never been in one of those. Like, and I also did like the vibe of like Mexico last year, where it wasn't all inclusive, but everybody pitched in.
Yeah.
And obviously, as long as everybody actually pitches in, which I mean, I think it worked out
Oh yeah.
for the
Yeah.
most part. Um, but that was more like home, gave me homegrown vibes because like we were
In a
like
small
a
town.
small
Yeah.
town. Like when you went to the corner shop to get tacos, like the food was really very good price, but also very authentic. So
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, it's like what's gonna give me the most authentic
Experience.
experience,
Yeah.
right?
No,
Because
that's fair.
it'll have to be a mix, right? Um, yeah. So that's I don't know. Do you have anything?
No, I think that's fair. I like a mix too. Like I'm not saying that I don't like to go and do things with like groups or whatever. Obviously, when we're at the all inclusive, like they do have like different events and like foam parties and like all these things that like you can go to if you want as a group. You can go to it by yourself. There's so many different options. So it's nice to have that option there if you're wanting it, but also if you just want to kind of lay low and chill on the beach for the evening, that's also an option too.
Right, right. Okay, yeah. And speaking of authentic experiences, what are your thoughts on the
Oh no.
Calgary Stampede?
Okay.
Like, I know that's a random question, but I'm like very
I mean, it's not
curious.
random because it's going on right now. I don't know if I can form a full opinion on it because my first time going was last year when we drove down for one concert.
Russ, if you see this, it's for you, bro. We
No, we're
can't.
not shouting him out anymore. He doesn't deserve it anymore. But his music's not
Never
good
mind.
anymore. But we went for what, 45 minutes, maybe an hour. I would say an hour's pushing it.
Nah,
Yeah.
nah.
Anyhow, we drove back, got home at like what, 1, 2 in the morning.
Yeah, so I guess, yeah, you're probably
He
right.
took the next day off of work. I had to go into work the next
No,
day.
I didn't take the next day off of work. I had the next day off. It's two different things.
No, it's not.
Yes,
There's
it
no
is.
differences there. Did you work?
No, but I didn't
Exactly.
take it off because it was my
Okay, moving
schedule.
on, moving
It's
on, moving on,
it's my
moving on.
schedule. What are you talking about?
Okay, you didn't have work and I did. So
Right.
that was kind of like I enjoyed being there, but just all the travel time it took to get there and get back.
Yeah, the more that I think about that experience, I just think like, why did we do that?
Because I really wanted to see Russ.
Honestly, I definitely like I 100% like love you to the core because like I would never do that like for myself. Like I mean, okay, honestly, low key, if it was
J.
J. Cole,
Cole?
I
Yeah.
probably would have done it.
Yeah.
But like the concept of driving, like we definitely both should have taken the day off of work. And nah, sorry, you should have taken the day off work, and
Yeah.
I should have had the scheduled day off already, and we should have stayed. Because I guess in one of the episodes, shout out, I think episode 1. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch. I'll link it just right in the corner there. You asked me how far would you drive,
Yeah.
like for like a concert or like for
Mhm.
an experience, right? So I mean, I think I don't know. I think it's cool as a story to tell, like the fact that we went for the
Yeah.
one concert.
We also
or
didn't
whatever.
eat any of the food. Like we didn't have the full experience
Yeah.
of the Calgary Stampede. I also heard this year they had like record-breaking numbers of how many people were there in the first weekend.
Well, yeah. Well, think about it. You have like there's all these Logic. You have Sexy Red. You have
You
Metro
have Huck
Boomin.
to a Girl.
She's there too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So all these different people they're bringing in. First of all, I just can't understand the concept of Calgary being able to house that many.
Tate McRae's there too. I don't know if you know who that is.
Isn't that the
She's like from Calgary and she
Right.
got super famous. She's like doing very well for herself in like her singing career.
Mhm.
And she like came back to Calgary and brought like a bunch of like famous like influencers and other singers with her. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of famous people there
And,
right
and
now.
don't get me wrong, I think from like an economy standpoint, definitely good for the city of Calgary as well as like Alberta in general. But I would never be able to wrap my head around like I mean I'd be down to go one year and actually experience a couple of days of it.
I think it's just madness. Like
But yeah, like that's
I saw a video of a guy who got a hamburger in between 2 slices of watermelon. Okay, no, just wait.
Did you have
$20. It
did-
was $20.
Did you have a grape drink too?
Why?
Or was it a fried chicken hamburger? Was it
Oh
Jimbo?
my God, no.
No, I mean, okay, hold on. $20?
The hamburger was burnt to a crisp, and it was literally watermelon and a burnt hamburger, and that was it. There wasn't anything crazy to it. There wasn't any like
Sauce, nothing.
there was like a piece of basil in it,
So
and he paid $20.
I don't know if I'm just desensitized. I think things are just starting to get just expensive. Like $20. Like I remember, I don't know. Like not to forget my roots. Like I remember when I used to work at Wonderland. Like like if you'd go out, we would like be wanting like the wing nights, go to All Stars.
Yeah.
All Stars was a restaurant right beside Wonderland, and we would go there because they'd have like wing deals and stuff like that. And like if I was paying like 20, 25, I'm like, ooh, that's like, but like
Yeah, but that's like a meal. Like
But
this
yeah,
is
I
literally
guess,
like
yeah.
it's a tiny hamburger. They have like I do like the pickle fest that they have, but I just think in order to experience it, you have to go and eat all the food and see all the concerts and be part of like the Cowboys tent and all of that, and I just
Don't have time for that.
or
Yeah.
the energy.
And then, I mean, also speaking of energy, I can only imagine if it's super. It was 35 degrees today.
We'll edit it out. We'll edit it
No,
out.
I'm keeping that.
No, just wait. Keep talking. Keep talking. Keep talking.
What are you doing?
Keep talking.
Okay. It was 35 degrees. Um, anyways, 35 degrees today in Edmonton. It's been hot, like as Satan's nuts, the last couple of days.
That's a
right?
really nice saying.
That's how hot it is. I'm sure that's how hot it is. It's like
I checked the temperature today, and that's actually what it said.
I can't even fathom how hot it is.
I love it.
So you love Satan's nuts.
Okay,
I'm joking.
Let's
sorry.
not. We're not over there.
We'll take that out. But
Okay.
no. So all jokes aside, I could just like I'm just thinking about like being at the Stampede. If it's already hot outside in Edmonton, how it is right now, Calgary is even like south, closer to the equator, right? And I know it doesn't seem by much, but if you look on a map, we're pretty much very north compared to them. So I can only imagine how hot it is there. Plus all the people that are there. Nah.
I saw a video of like the tent that Cowboys puts on, and someone was like at the front of the tent, and they were trying to go to use the washroom, and they couldn't move. They were literally stuck. Like it's like shoulder to shoulder.
There's probably like a sea. Have you seen those videos on TikTok of like those of those like pools in like Asia?
No.
Maybe I might insert a clip. So there. Oh goddamn. Whose dog is that? No, so in these pools in like Asia, like Malaysia, all these places, there's like it's like a wave pool, and it's like people like you can't even see the water. It's like people sandwiched in. It's like a cesspool of people. It's so disgusting.
That's how the Banff Hot Springs was, or Lake Louise.
Yeah. So
oh my god, that was so bad.
Think about that, but then you can't see any water. So like that ring around.
No, I would not.
And then a ring, and then a ring, until there's one person in the center.
You know what that sounds like to me?
What?
No, thank you.
It sounds like no, thank you. Right. So, what's because you said you like heat. So, what's the thought on like this whole heat? Do you think it's too hot? I mean, this is my 4th year in Alberta, so like you've been here all your life. Has it ever been this hot, from what you can remember?
I really don't remember. I think we get a wave of it every year, to be honest. Like, I don't know if it's been this extreme, but I think once it gets to like a certain point between like 30 and 35, you don't really feel a difference, right? Like, it's just really hot. You're not gonna like, do you feel like today was hotter than yesterday?
I mean, to be honest, I was inside the whole day, but from what I could even feel inside, it was just my house was warm.
Yeah.
Right. And then when I did go outside occasionally to move my car, I was like, so like to think of being outside consistently, like I just use Stampede as a perfect example. Being around other people, sweaty, sticky, smelly. No, it definitely seems like a big case of no, thank you.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree.
Stamp that. So.
So safe to say we're not going next year.
And if it's this hot, no, I don't think so. Because I feel like
I don't care. I don't want to go.
To get down there, okay, I'm not even down to go.
Why?
Well, I'd be down to go with you, but if you don't want to go, I'm not going.
Okay, well then I want to go.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go tonight.
No, it's too hot. I think I would want to go to experience a couple of days, but I definitely would not be there the whole week. Like, there's probably people there that are there from weekend 1, Friday, to the end of weekend 2, Sunday. 10 days of like.
I just think that the amount of money that you would spend being there for like 3-4 days, you could
go somewhere else.
That could be our trip to Miami.
You can go somewhere else, because kid you not, Mr. Watermelon Burger guy probably has already spent, if he's been there for a day or two, $200.
Easily.
Easy.
Yeah.
Right. So.
And then that's like liquor if you're drinking too, and like
Yeah. And you're on the ground, so chances are, Calgary police are not letting people bring in alcohol or anything, and you have to buy it on the grounds.
Yeah.
Alcohol is gonna be like $10 to $15 per, like 16 ounce.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, that's the more we talk about it, the more I'm talking myself out of
Convincing.
it. Yeah.
It's a curious case of no thank you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, speaking of like, I know the heat warnings, and do you get the heat warnings on your phone?
I haven't yet, no.
Yeah, I've gotten the critical heat warnings. So, anytime like it's super hot, what is the best way for you to like cool yourself down?
Okay, so I tried something today. I sat in like a bath of cold water. And you know me, I cannot like the bath has to be like really hot for me to even want to go in there. So I sat in the tub with no water.
Right.
And then I just turned the cold water on. So it started filling up while I was in there. So I kind of got used to it.
Right.
But that cooled me down. And then once I got out, I was actually cold.
Pretty cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, oops, Pillow was a paid actor. I think for me, I mean, I've done like the ice bath, but I mean, the ice packs, like when you're sleeping and like having that, like, I mean, you've told me, put it on your feet, right? Or under your armpit. Like, as long as I can touch something that's cold, like eventually I feel like my body temperature would like get regulated and it'll stay
Regulate, yeah.
down. But it's tough because like, like freezies or even Starbucks drinks, refreshers.
Starbucks.
So, do you think that Starbucks should be getting rid and phasing out certain drinks
No, it makes me so sad. And I think that they should have a vote when they bring seasonal things on.
in order to keep them onto the actual
Yeah.
menu?
Yes, because my lavender matcha
Yeah, you put me
is
on
gone.
that. Went to Starbucks. They talking about like, hey, can I get a grande lavender matcha? The guy was like, ew, sorry, we don't have that anymore. And I was like, what do you mean? I'm like, that's the only thing. You know what I hate about going to Starbucks is
You might get canceled for talking about Starbucks, just to let you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm about to boycott them anyway, so whoever's about to cancel me, I'm on your side, okay? Don't worry about it. Um, I just, that concept of one, seasonal drinks, phasing them out. Like, don't get me wrong. Chestnut praline latte, I get it. That's a Christmas drink.
Yeah.
That makes sense, right? Ain't nobody getting no red and white sprinkles on a drink in the middle of summer.
But that's a hot drink. I think that, I don't know. I get it. It might
So,
be expensive to make the lavender matcha.
I mean, but let's think about the amount of money that Starbucks makes. Do you think they can't afford that expense?
Not right now. They're getting boycotted by one extra person now.
Yeah, Starbucks, if you hear this, big curious case of no thank you. You guys are canceled. Disappointed. Not going to get my money anytime soon unless you guys bring back that lavender. And I think,
No, we can make it at home.
yeah, we're already making at home to put you out of business. You hear that, Starbucks? So, and I'm going to spell it.
Point with a different finger.
I have the, sorry, and I'm gonna spell it Starbux. I'm gonna give you your own treatment when you spell people's names wrong. I could go on and on. I could go on and on about Starbucks. Speaking of spelling names wrong, I don't know if we've talked about this before. At your place of employment and my place of employment, we're not gonna name them because I'm not trying to get canceled. But have you had an experience where someone spelled your name wrong in an email? Because I feel like your name and my name can easily get spelled incorrectly. And when I mean incorrectly, I mean using another way to spell it. Because obviously, there's people that have.
I do, but only because there's someone else at my work that has the same name and she spells it differently. And she's been there a lot longer than I have been. So people just assume that our names are spelled the same.
That's fair. That's a logical explanation.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
What about you? Because I
For
feel like
me,
this is something you want to talk
for me, the thing that cheeses me about it is when you have to type in my name.
Yeah.
It's not like I go like you go by Bree.
Yeah.
And you X, Y, and Z is your name, right? But your Bree at blah 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 is in the email, right?
Yeah.
But I can understand if there's another person that has the same name and spelled differently with seniority. That makes sense. My name, right? When you type in my name, I'm the only person with my name at my work.
So how do they spell it?
Malcom. They must be working at
No,
Starbucks.
to be honest, I spelt your name like that for a very long time too.
See, okay, but what I'm trying to say is
It's right there in front of them.
you have to type it in the address bar. Malcolm.Bucknor at xyz blah blah blah.com.
I thought you were gonna say your whole email there for a
No,
second.
I'm not. So my beef is you type it in the address bar and then you go, hey Malcolm, and then you leave out the second L. Now I'm wondering, like, I'm questioning my.
But it's silent anyhow. Maybe
It's
just thought they
silent,
were
but
doing you a
it's
favor.
there. It doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Okay?
Okay.
No, the whole point I'm saying it's a silent L. It's not a non-existent L.
Okay, that's fair.
So I honestly, I'm better now, but I used to be so petty that I would, like, if someone had like a name that could have like a different spelling, I
You
would
would change.
purposely like
That's smart.
misspell their name, or I would respond, and then like, you know how like in Outlook if you like reply to something it's in blue. I don't know if is yours set up like that.
I don't know. I don't know a lot
Next time you
about
go to
it.
work, you probably notice.
Okay.
Normally, the default Outlook settings when you're hitting reply, it'll instead of being black font, it'll be blue font.
Okay.
Right. The reason why I'm explaining that is what I do is if they, I used to do, I don't do it anymore. They would type my name wrong. I would type my response. I'd go down to their email, and then I would put the second L in capital bold.
Do you think that they're gonna scroll down to look at that?
It just made me feel better about myself. Because it's obvious. It's like it's right there.
But what if you're typing a long email and
Nope.
it's
If you were spelling my name wrong, the response you're getting is so short that you're gonna see your own. You're gonna see your own.
Okay.
But not anymore. And then also, what's worse is my name is at the bottom in the signature.
Yeah.
It's like, attention to detail, folks.
I see both sides because I sometimes do that too. I'm sometimes too lazy to look at the signature and I spell it wrong.
That's fair. I mean,
I see both sides.
I guess for me, it was just something that it would always happen to me. So I try to make sure I spell people's names right. So, I mean, kind of wrapping up, getting to the end here. Speaking of like emails, correspondence, texting, all that stuff like that. Facebook. This is a completely random topic. I'm trying to find a segue. However, I can't. This is episode 6. You guys are getting the raw and uncut version of how we get to our topics. I really want to ask. I was going to save this for next episode, but I really, really want to ask you because I feel like we're in a season right now of selling things on Facebook Marketplace. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Like, my buddy moved to DC. You helped him sell like his couches.
Oh, that was such a hassle.
Oh, you helped me sell
your car.
Set. Did you touch my drum set? You know where that's from?
No.
It's Step Brothers. You helped me sell my car, my drum set. So like,
if you need anything sold on Facebook Marketplace,
hit us up. We will.
Where did the us come from?
I'm your secretary. Hit us up. We will be charging a commission fee, but hit us up if you want it sold. Alberta residents only. Okay. Because we're not into shipping yet. So Ontario, just wait. We'll give you the go ahead when it's time. But so in your experience of selling on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on like the buyers, like the Facebook Marketplace buyers?
They're the worst people out there. Literally, like they'll message you and be like, first of all, you see that I have it listed for a price. For your car, I can understand because it's not like $20, $30, $40. Not even a couple hundred, that's like a big amount. So for people to message you being like, hey, can you give me a deal on this, whatever. But for something that's like listed for, let's say $50, for them to be like, will you take it for 20? Like, no.
If I wanted it for 20, I would have posted it for 20.
Exactly. And then like I've had people like actually argue with me about the price of something. I remember I was trying to sell office furniture. And there was this like really heavy glass table, and it was like thicker than this table, but it was like all glass. Like you needed like 3 people to move it. So it was like a couple $100, which I think was a very low amount for the quality of the table. And some guy was arguing with me. He's like, how do I know it's real glass? And how do I know that it's actually heavy? And I was like, you can come see it if you want. He's like, I'll give you 20 for it. I was like, And
See,
honestly, I just start trolling people. It gets to the point where I'm like, sure.
yeah,
And then you send them like the wrong address
address.
or,
Yeah, I saw a TikTok where the guy was like, you know, like it was like a Facebook Marketplace like conversation or whatever, and he was like, yeah, come to this address. And then he posted, I think it was like his car. And he's like, how much do you want for it? And the guy's like, 30,000. And the guy's like, I'll give you 10. And the guy was like, sure. And then he starts like messing with him. He's like, oh, come to this address. So he sends him an address. It's like 3 hours away from the guy's house or whatever. He drives there. I don't know if this is real, but I thought it was funny. He drives there. And then like, he's like, oh, I'm here. Where are you? And the guy's like, just go inside, go to the right. He goes inside and it's like a comedy club. He's like, why'd you have me meet you at a comedy club? He's like, so you could walk on stage and tell that joke to someone else. He's like,
wow.
you made me drive all this way, blah blah blah. And he's like, I know. He's like, yeah, and you should probably include that in your joke.
See, that's what I'm saying is people are just like, or they'll message you and say that they're interested and ask you to hold it and then like not say anything.
Yeah, you
Like
know,
people, they're just not serious.
in
It hurts my head.
in my experience, I definitely like. I already don't like being on. I only have Facebook for Marketplace. That's the only
Yeah.
reason why I have it.
Yeah.
I don't like being on Facebook at all. I hate it. Um,
I
but
do too.
yeah, when people were like, hey, is it still available? Like,
And then they go
no,
ghost.
like, no, it's not.
No, when you're selling a lot of things, it's hard to keep track of like if you did sell something
Right.
to remove it. So I do appreciate that question. But why are you going to ask if something's available
If you're
and
not
then not
interested.
respond if it still
Yeah.
is available?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I definitely agree.
That's crazy.
So
Horsepower for Hope. So that's something that I'm going to be going to this weekend. Hopefully you're not in school so you can join too. But essentially it is a fundraiser in support of kids with cancer. So essentially my workplace is driving one of their fleet vans in the race, and essentially it's just to raise money for kids with cancer. So there's going to be food trucks, there's going to be games, there's apparently a monster truck demo too. So that's something, it's free entry. There's a lot of activities for kids. I think it goes from 1 till like 4:30 or 5 o'clock. The weather's supposed to be pretty good.
Where is it at?
The Expo Center. So it's on the grounds outside. Like I said, it is a fundraiser. They currently have close to $500,000 raised, which is
what day
absolutely
is this?
insane.
Saturday?
Saturday the 13th, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is something to get up to. I don't think it's going to be super, super hot, so it's going to be nice to be outside.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to be racing in honor of an incredible 8-year-old girl who goes by the name of Super Sam. She came into our office and kind of told us her story and her experience with kids with cancer. And it was just so incredible to hear her mom speak on like their experience with everything. And she actually ended up writing a book about her experience. I know it's on Amazon. We'll probably link it in here as well. But yeah, just seeing how she can kind of be such a shining light and come and tell us her story. And that's actually who we're racing in honor of on Saturday. So super excited for that. Check it out if you are free on Saturday. Expo, I think, like I said, 1 to 5 p.m.
1 to 5. Yeah, we'll have the details at the Expo Center here in Edmonton, Horsepower for Hope, rather, in honor of Super Sam. So again, if you're in the Edmonton area, hopefully we can get a snippet out here maybe tonight or tomorrow, just so you guys can have all the information ahead of time and be able to join us over there in racing for cancer. So that should be exciting. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. All right, gang. Well, thanks for joining us once again. Really appreciate your time. Again, like, comment, subscribe, do whatever those YouTube people tell you to do, and share the channel to a couple of friends. We're trying to build some traction, get some more followers, subscribers, just so we can kind of have the resources to give you guys more content. Again, follow us on Instagram at UnseenThreadsPodcast and on TikTok and YouTube.
Yeah, I think that's all of them.
I think that's all. Well, let's hope it recorded.